Evening to you, traveller. I see you've come to listen to another of my many stories. I can't say I blame you. What's that you say? You want to record my story? I don't see why not. Then you shall be able to hear my stories whenever you wish. Talking of recording, I'm reminded of a tale I heard many moons ago. Yes. I think you'll like this one. Come, traveller, make yourself comfy whilst I tell you a story I like to call Survivour.
My name is Sydney Sands, and I'm the son of the NWR's number 2's driver Charlie Sands. Recently, my dad gave me this old cam recorder for my birthday. Photography's kid of my hobby. You see, he said he found it whilst helping to unload some box vans the NWR recently acquired from a private medical company after they suddenly closed their facility here on Soder, and I know why. Once I got the chance, I looked the camera over, seeing what condition it was in and if I needed to do any repairs, and that's when I found a tape in the tape slot. It wasn't labeled, so I'd had no idea what it was. Curious to find out, I dug out my old video recorder and popped the tape in, winding it back to the beginning. I was expecting the usual mundane type of thing you would find on old VHS tapes. A wedding, a christening, people celebrating. That's it now, in 1991 instead of 1990. That sort of thing. What I saw on the tape was nothing like that. Once I hit play, there was a brief burst of static, and then the image of a man came onto screen. He looked to be sitting in a box van, probably the same one my dad found the quarter in. He looked to be about my dad's age and was wearing overalls, but it was the expression on his face that really got my attention. He looked absolutely terrified, and I couldn't blame him. Muffled by the thick wood panels of the box van, it sounded like World War III was happening outside. I could hear a klaxon, gunfire, and explosions. People shouting and screaming. Screaming was the worst part, because, and I know this sounds crazy, not all those screams sounded human. They sounded like screams of some sort of feral creature. Gran once told me about a creature called Banshee, a humanoid with an incredibly loud scream. I reckon there must have been 100 of them outside that van. After a while, the man spoke, his voice shaking and his breath short and sharp.
My name is Patrick Wilson, and I'm a technician working at the Arcos Pharmaceutical Facility in Kildane, on the island of Sodor. You know, the island with all the talking trains that appear in the books. I'm recording this because whatever Arcos tries to claim during their press conference will be nothing but lies. I'm pretty sure the big suits at corporate will try to pass off what you're hearing out there right now as just a drill or a war game, but this is no damn drill or war game. It's murder. Now, it's no secret the Arcos undergoes contracts for the Ministry of Defence. We're not talking stronger and longer flu jobs. We're talking muscle enhancers and all that kind of bullshit.
Now, I know what you're thinking. This guy sounds like a conspiracy nut. Why didn't I just turn off the tape there and then? Like I said, it was those screams I could hear. They weren't staged. The people screaming genuinely sounded as if their lives were in danger. And I've worked in media for a long time, and there is no way on earth you could technically enhance a human scream to sound like the demonic screeches I could hear. Plus, my dad said he talked to Arthur Welles, a porter at Kildane Station, and he told my dad he was able to hear the commotion all the way from the station. Just like that, he doesn't buy the story that it was a drill or war games either.
Now you're probably wondering what's going on out there. No doubt the MOD will try passing it off as a drill or something, but that's not what's happening out there. I was just going out for lunch when I heard screaming coming from one of the labs. There was this young private tussling on the floor with one of the subjects. I thought it was just another non-compliant subject. We're using prisoners serving life sentences after all, so I hit the panic button and started calling for help. That attracted the attention of the subject, and it was then I realised to my horror he'd managed to get a large chunk out of the private's neck. The way he looked at me, I could tell something wasn't right. The way he looked at me, I could tell he wasn't right. He wasn't just some convict hyped up on adrenaline. He was almost primeval, like he regressed mentally. Then he sprang, literally sprang, almost like an animal, at me, and I ran, hoping to find a couple of guards, except when I got to the central area, it was utter chaos. It wasn't just the subject in the lab that was acting up, there were others, and they weren't all test subjects. I saw laboratorists, administrators, and even soldiers attacking their orders. The non-feral soldiers were opening fire on those attacking, although I think a few shot some non-feral people, but I can't be sure that was by accident or deliberate.
I was enthralled as I sat, listening to this guy. He went on to say how he suddenly felt the need to document this and ran back to his locker to fetch his camcorder. By now, the gate to the compound has been locked and barred. An 18-wheeler jackknifed across the road with soldiers training their rifles on the mast behind. Patrick then sighted the line of box vans he was currently in, found the nearest that was open, jumped in, and slammed the door shut.
I've been in this van for about 2 hours now. I can't hear any more screaming or gunshots, but it's not safe to get out as I can still hear those things out there. A few have stopped outside from time to time, but I don't think they can get in. I think I'll give it a few minutes and then see about getting out of here.
I'd have watched more, but I had to go to work, so pause the tape. Whilst at work, I told some co-workers about it. Gary and Clive support the theory it's nothing but some cringy homemade sci-fi movie, whilst Mary and Sandra are of the opinion that it's just some conspiracy nutter, looking to make some money out of his personal delusions and using the recent war games up at the complex as catalyst. Personally, I still don't know what to make of it. They could be right, that it's nothing but a hoax, but then there are the noises of the creatures. I honestly just can't believe that anything on God's earth could make that noise. I all but dashed home after work, ended and started the tape again. Patrick reappeared on screen, and I'm guessing this part was filmed later because it was a lot darker in the van.
There's no chance of getting out. The gate's lost all power and it takes at least 2 to manually open it. Even if I could get it open, there's the truck, which has been wedged good and solid. I don't think I'm getting out of here. I'm going to have some of the food I grabbed and see what sleep I can get.
By now, I reckon the battery on the camera must have been getting low because Patrick's update were getting shorter and sparser. It was about 5:30 the next morning I got something. Something that to this day I rather wish I hadn't.
I just heard shots from outside the van and the sound of troop carriers. Maybe this is a rescue party? I mean, it'd make sense, wouldn't it? After all, this place is pretty valuable to those buttholes in Whitehall. Wait, there's a truck stopping outside. I can see soldiers getting out. Listen, I'm going to put down the camera and show myself. Once I've convinced them I'm not infected, I'll come back for the camera. There's no way I'm going to let them silence this. Don't shoot, I'm not infected! Hey, didn't you hear what I said? I said I'm not infected!
Another one of those things, Sergeant.
Worse than that, sir. A survivor.
A survivor? You're certain of that?
Absolutely, sir. Just look at him. Cleaner than all the others we shot, and no sign of any bites. Not even a scratch.
Where was he hiding?
That van over there, sir. The one with the open door.
Let me have a look. Well, he certainly made himself homely in here. Oh well, as this is the epicenter, I reckon we can declare this place cleared and let the ministry boffins take over.
Any idea what cover story they're using, sir?
Usual flannel, Sergeant. Army got a bit carried away playing toy soldiers, all just a drill, no need to worry, mother. Just you put the kettle on and carry on with your knitting.
Oldies are the goodies. Eh, sir? Alright, you lot, stop lollygagging and drag that one onto the pile with the rest of them. Then get that civilian tank engine in here so that fat gent in the topper can stop belly aching about getting his trucks back.
I've replayed the ending of the tape multiple times and I still can't believe it. Not only did I witness a man get shot in cold blood, I also overheard his murderers casually discussing how his murder would be covered up. But I think what sickens me the most is that supposedly one of the Totham hats, one of the most respected houses on this island, was party to it. I know Dad said something about Sir Stephen's father being an old soldier, but I never knew he'd had a party to a cover-up of this magnitude. I've decided not to keep the camera recorder or the tape. I can't be sure that the MOD doesn't know of their existence, but if they do, I don't want to be found in possession of them, especially after witnessing how far they'll go to keep this little secret. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go and light a small bonfire.
Well, traveller, that was quite the story, wasn't it? Are you all right, traveller? You look pale. Ah, you're worried that I may have exposed you to a dark secret, just as Patrick and young Sydney were. Fear not, traveller, for all my anecdotes are mere figments of my imagination. Or are they? Ah, the clock doth toll the hour, and summons me back to my work. Tread carefully as you walk upon your journey, traveller, and mind who you converse with along the way. You never know what their true intentions may be.